Back to ah, so much for speed run. Okay, now that should be better. Welcome back to another edition of James Hates Everything. Saturday night live stream, Sunday speed run edition. Thank you all for joining us. Last night we went 3 hours and it took a really long time to get to these Arcade1up leaks, and I do not want you to have to suffer through any replays if you missed it live. Again, we had a special guest join us, and we tried to stall a little bit to give them time to make the show. There was a lot of lead in and build up, and of course, so uh, let's just get into it. All right, guys, as promised, we had a week of leaks last week showing all kinds of new cabs, and today I'm back with 3 leaks that we showed last night with a special 4th leak, if you could call it special, but one that was hidden in the background of one of the images, which we will share tonight. And our first leak is not this image. I gave this image to you just to kind of refresh your memory back to CES 2020 when it was announced that Arcade1up was working with Coleco to release a new line of Coleco mini arcades. Now, these, as you see here, you can see Mega Man, DuckTales, there's a Frogger on the end. The announcement back then was that Arcade1up and Coleco would work together to release a series of existing arcade IPs on Coleco's form factors, as well as new games. You see a couple retro games here. And while these never actually made it into production, and Coleco ended up going with a different company to release their Coleco mini revivals, we do have our first leak, and it is from this line. It is the Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusions. This is of course, mini Coleco arcade based on that old retro Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion game, available on Genesis as well as other consoles, I believe. And so not exciting, but this is the first one, and I will tell you the rest of these are also weird and in this vein, but I wanted to share them with you. Um, so there's the first one. Not that exciting unless you are a Mickey Mouse collector or a retro game enthusiast who likes to play your games in a weird format. So as we transition to our next leak, it helps to know that here on this channel, we love, absolutely love collab cabs. And I say that somewhat sarcastically, because most of them are hideously ugly, but they are really fun to talk about. I've had 2 other videos on this channel, which you can check, and I recommend watching those. We ranked every single collab cab released by Arcade1up, everything from the Supreme editions to some really more rare ones like the Risk Mortal Kombat 2 or the pink and black Ridge Racer, which really actually looks pretty good. Definitely recommend checking that video out. We followed that up with a collab cab video of our own in which we mocked up various potential collab cabs for Arcade1up. It was a ton of fun and pretty funny, so I definitely recommend also checking that out if you want a few laughs. So that's our lead into our next leak, which is another collab cab from Arcade1up. It is the Gucci Neo Geo. And I'll give you a second here to take a look at this cab, complete with the Gucci themed pattern all over the cab. We have some unique riser styling with it cut out here on the front. As we zoom in, we have the lit coin buttons and what appears to be clear or crystal like ball tops to the joysticks. And the joysticks themselves, I mean, it's hard to tell, could be reflection, or these potentially have been colored a gold color to add to that luxury. We got some other detailing down here. It's hard to see what this is. But there you go. For you luxury fans of arcade games, here is that Gucci collab. And of course, Gucci, this was actually made to present to Gucci to have these made, and it was failed. It did not happen. And so here you go. Now, one thing you'll notice is the game on here. This is probably the most interesting thing about this leak because this is a game and product that never came out at Arcade1up. What you see here is Samurai Showdown. Here's a better picture of that. So you can see it is this stage right here on the right. So there you go. A potential cab that could have been the Gucci collab cab with Samurai Showdown. The next leak coming up is one we have teased out all week, Nintendo. This is an interesting concept piece that was created by ThinkUp. And if you're not familiar with ThinkUp, this is the company that Arcade1up worked with to design the three-quarter scale arcade cabinets and originally bring Arcade1up, the product, to life. They work on all kinds of different things. They're designers, game designers. They do all kinds of interesting things. Earlier this year, they did a shuffle golf Kickstarter. Unfortunately, that never got off the ground because they couldn't find a reasonable manufacturer. But they have some unique ideas, and certainly our next leak qualifies. And there you go. It is kind of a play on Chex Bubble Hockey and, of course, Mario Sports. It is the Mario Slapshot Hockey. And of course, you see it features all the main characters. You got Luigi minus Princess Peach. So you got Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Yoshi. You got toadstools over here and here, some Koopas, Goombas. Um, all the cast is here to play hockey. Some good detailing on the top, give you that faux ice effect. One of the missed opportunities here is the puck. Of course, they left this the traditional hockey puck color, but how cool would that have been if this was a coin? Also, in this image, you'll notice the fire flowers coming out of the pipes to hold the scoreboard up for Team Bowser and Team Luigi. And here we have another picture so you can see the Mario slap shot. You can see all the handles, of course, that brick and question box styling. So this is an interesting one. This is one I think, while not a traditional arcade, we all have some nostalgia for bubble hockey. And for Arcade1up, this was likely an attempt to create something that was more toy-like to get into the door at Nintendo and open that relationship, because we know Nintendo frequently licenses out the Mario IP for toys, stuffed animals, other things, whereas they may not be so quick to license the gaming IPs. This could have potentially got Arcade1up in the door as a Nintendo licensor and worked towards bringing us classic Nintendo arcades like Donkey Kong and Punch Out and Popeye. But alas, it was not meant to be. But this is truly an amazing piece from ThinkUp, and it would have been great to see this out there. One of the other interesting things you can see in this picture, this is seems to be within The offices in Miami, you've got Arcade1up logos on all kinds of things. This may be something sitting on a chair or the chair itself. You've got it on the back of monitors. So it sure seems like they like to slap their logo on more than just their arcades. It's too bad they never sold any of this merchandise. But there you go. So let's get to the fourth and final leak from this collection that we went through last night. And this is one that is buried in this image and the last image we looked at. And as you notice, there are lots of things in the background. Over here, you have a Supreme edition showing up, which we all know about that one. But the big one is over here in the corner. And I will zoom in a bit to give you a better look over here as much as we can on this tiny image. But what you see sitting on this table is an NBA Jam two-player collectorcade. This game was never released in this form factor, and if you notice, they're roughly a 1/6 scale, similar to New Wave toys, but by no means anywhere near as quality of New Wave toys. But there you have it, an unreleased NBA Jam two-player collectorcade, and it's not as obvious that it's a collectorcade, except we have right here in the background, we have a countercade back here that we can use to compare sizes, and that makes it pretty clear that this is one of those collectorcades. If you're wondering what this is back here, this black cat cab with this interesting artwork that doesn't necessarily jump out with you, it is nothing special. It is the Rampage Midway cab that was released many moons ago. So there you have it. Let's take one last look at the Mario Slapshot for all its glory. Again, none of these leaks were truly arcades other than that Gucci collab cab and the potential for Neo Geo. But there you have it, Mario Slapshot. What a great looking bubble hockey uh, inspired product. Would have been great to have something like this come out. It looks like a ton of fun. Um, Definitely a take up a lot of space, but man, you can see this in lots of people's game rooms, kids' playrooms. Looks amazing. I would have loved to have it. So there you are, folks, in short and sweet speed run fashion. 4 new leaks from Arcade1up. What did you think? Any of them interest you at all, or are they just complete duds? Let me know down in the comments. And we are super close to that initial 500 level of subscribers that YouTube puts on you. And so if you are not subscribed, we would truly appreciate a subscription. If you've enjoyed this video, of course, smash the like button. And for future videos, and I promise you, we have one very interesting coming up soon regarding ThinkUp and Arcade1up. Some new information there we will go over. In the meantime, until next time, have fun. Thanks for watching.